Hi guys, today we're talking about solving rational equations. Okay, so in order to solve a rational equation, it is very necessary to find the least common multiple of the polynomials in the denominator, and then multiply the entire equation by the least common multiple. The reason you want to do that is because it will eliminate all the denominators and make it much easier to solve. Okay? So, for example, we've got this equation here. I don't like the denominators here, so what I'm going to do is find the least common multiple. That would be 3 times x. I'm going to take this entire equation, multiply it by 3x. So the x is going to cancel this x and leave me with 2 times 3, which is 6. The 3 is going to cancel that 3 and leave me with an x times 5, which is 5x. And the x is going to cancel that x over here and leave me with 3 times 7 is 21. And now I've got a much easier problem to solve. Okay, subtract 6, 5x is 15, and then divide by 5, and x is 3. Now, before I put a box around this answer and say that's my final answer, I should always check to make sure that it's correct, because sometimes we get extraneous answers. We've run into that term before. It's an answer that is an answer, but it doesn't really work. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to plug it in here, and make sure that works. This is often the hardest part of the whole thing. So this would be 2 over 3 plus 5 over 3 should equal 7 over 3, and it does. Okay, so that is an answer. I can go ahead and put a box around x equals 3. Let's just put that over here like that. Okay, so that's like my final answer. Okay, this one's a little trickier. You got to watch out for this one. So, I don't want that x minus 2 in the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and take this whole thing. Now remember, this is 7 over 1. So this is pretty easy in the fact that my least common multiple is going to be x minus 2. If I multiply it by this term, it just cancels the bottom and I'm left with 5x. Then I get 7 times x minus 2. And then it cancels here and I'm left with 10. Okay, so now I just got to finish this up. I'm going to go ahead and distribute my 7. So 5x equals 7x minus 14 plus 10. I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms here. I'm going to move this over here, so I'll subtract the 7x. I get negative 2x equals negative 4, and x is then going to be 2. Okay, so let's check it and make sure that it works. Okay, so I'm going to take 2, I'm going to plug it in here. Oh, I have a problem though. So the top would be 10, that's not a problem, but the bottom is going to be 0. And that means I can't divide by 0. I don't have to do any of the rest of this problem because I can't divide by 0. So this whole thing is done. This answer, even though it's an answer and we did all the math right, it's called extraneous. It's an extraneous solution. It comes out as an answer, but it's not really an answer. So, no solutions to this one. Okay. All right. Here's one. This might be a good idea to take this and factor it first. So 3x over x plus 1 is going to equal 12 over x minus 1, x plus 1, plus 2 over 1. Okay, now, what is going to be my least common multiple? Well, this has an x plus 1, so does that, but I'm going to need an x minus 2, so I'm going to multiply this entire equation here by x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, so this cancels out that, leaves me with 3x times x minus 1 equals. Both of these cancel both of these, just leaves me with 12. Okay? Nothing gets canceled here, so I get 2 times x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, now I got some simplifying to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute this. It's going to give me 3x squared minus 3x equals 12. Plus 2 times x squared minus 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this and distribute it in here. So I'm going to get 3x squared minus 3x equals 12 plus 2x squared minus 2. And then I'm going to get it all on the same side. So I'm going to move this all over here. I'm going to subtract 2x squared from both sides, so I'm just going to have an x squared. I'm going to have a minus 3x. Oh, these combine to make 10, so when I subtract it over here, it's minus 10 equals 0. Okay, now I think I can factor this in order to solve it. So I'm going to get an x and an x, I'm going to get a 5 and a 2, and I want a minus 5 and a plus 2. Which tells me that x is going to equal negative 2 or x is going to equal 5. Now I got two answers to this. However, they may not be answers. I need to check them. So I need to check negative 2 and 5 and make sure that they work. Okay? So 3 times negative 2 over negative 2 plus 1 equals 12 over negative 2 squared, make sure that's in parentheses, minus 1 plus 2. So this is negative 6 over negative 1, which is just 6. This is 4 minus 1, so that's 3. And then that's 4 plus 2. Okay, that one works. Okay, so negative 2 is definitely an answer. I can go ahead and put a box around that. All right, now let's check 5 and make sure 5 works. Okay, so it's going to be 3 times 5 over 5 plus 1 should equal 12 over 5 squared minus 1 plus 2. Make sure I got that right. Okay. So then this is 15 over 6 equals 12 over 25 minus 1 is 24 plus 2. So that's this is 2.5 over here, 2.5. Okay, 6 will go into 15 twice and leave 3. 3 sixths is 1. So this is 2.5. So both of them work. Okay, now, both of them can work, one of them can work, none of them could work. You don't know until you get done. So be careful about boxing up your answer at the end and making it your final answer. Okay, let's look at this one. Let's see, this one here, this is just a proportion. I can cross multiply on this one. So remember, means extremes property says those two multiplied together should equal those two multiplied together. And so this is x squared plus 3x. I moved the 28 over here, so it's minus 28 equals 0. And that will factor into 7 and 4, and we want it to be plus 7 and minus 4, and a positive times negative is negative. So there we go. So x comes out to be negative 7, or x can be 4. All right, let's check it to make sure that it works, though. Okay, so we'll check, let's check the 4 first. So we get 7 over 4 plus 3 should equal 4 over 4, and this is 7 over 7 equals 4 over 4. Both those are equal to 1, so 4 works. Okay, let's check negative 7 this time. So then I'd get 7 over negative 7 plus 3 should equal negative 7 over 4. And this is 7 over negative 4 equals negative 7 over positive 4. Those are definitely equal, so that's also a solution. So good, both of them worked. I mean, you'd hate to do a problem and do a bunch of work, get 2 answers, and then one of them doesn't work. So that worked out well. Okay. This is a rather long assignment. So I'm going to give you 2 days to work on this one. Enjoy that and be very careful with it, and I will talk to you next time.